Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another A Star Citizen Player Reacts. This is a series where I look at and react to other games. Let me know down in the comments below how you guys are liking these videos. I know I don't do them as often as I used to, simply because there's so much content coming out in Star Citizen lately that there's just a lot to cover. But I do still like to look at other games once in a while to get perspective. Now, it's getting close to the end of the year, and I have a lot of stuff going on in the background for the community on this channel. So there'll probably be an announcement sometime early next year about what's going on with the future of this channel. I'm very excited about that and to share that. So if you guys are enjoying the videos, enjoying the content, I want to say thank you so much for all the support. This channel has grown immensely over this year, and it's the support from you guys. So making these videos and communicating with you guys, reading all the comments, I'm always down there replying to you guys. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at Light No Fire. This is a new game coming from Hello Games, the same developer behind No Man's Sky. And if you guys are in the space gaming community and you play Star Citizen, you know that No Man's Sky is one of the big three space games. The big three space games referring to, of course, Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, and Star Citizen. Now, Elite Dangerous is seeing a lot of turmoil now, but that game is still an amazing game. One-to-one representation of the Milky Way galaxy. It is uh, a huge play space that the player base hasn't even seen. 5% of. It is a technical feat that they were able to accomplish with Elite Dangerous. And the same thing can be said for No Man's Sky. This, completely procedural universe where, there are an unheard of amount of planets that you can go and you can visit and you can explore, and that has, a little bit of content on there. But this is the question. Now, Hello Games is dipping their feet into a new type of game. Okay, this is not a space game. This is kind of more of that fantasy game. So enough of the intro. We're gonna get right into this video, and then I'm gonna kind of talk about my thoughts around Hello Games releasing a new game. Okay, this is a big one. A multiplayer Earth. Okay, multiplayer Earth. This is the first major tagline here. A procedural Earth. Okay, and I'm looking at what we'll see in here. Pretty good draw distance, a ton of trees. Okay, now if you play Star Citizen, you know how difficult this is. CIG's pushing the forest density on Microtech right now, and performance is not amazing. Okay, of course they're gonna improve on that and make the performance better, but it's not an easy thing to do, to have a blanketed forest like this as far as the eye can see. This is an advancement on the tech that they have right now for planets. You look at the tree density in No Man's Sky right now, it's not like this. This is a very dense forest. You have all the grass moving here. You have a player character on a creature, mounted on a creature here. I'm interested so far. A fantasy Earth, okay? Again, this is one of the big things, the departure from the sci-fi. Hello Games is dipping their feet into fantasy games. This is not a space game. This is very interesting. I am interested in seeing what they do here. If this game is going to have a story, backlog. We see, skeletons, because that's the big thing. With a space game, you kind of know what it's all about. No Man's Sky doesn't. It has a bit of a story, but it's nothing crazy. I'm really kind of interested to see what if this game has more of a story focus, if there's a lot more lore to sink our teeth into. An unexplored Earth. Again, we're just looking at that crazy tree density, just blanketed with trees. You have, four characters here. I'm assuming a bunch of friends playing together. You have this structure here that looks like a moon. You have fog. Again, the mountains off in the distance. All footage in-game multiplayer. So those characters that we just saw, multiplayer. Okay, we're underwater now. There's a sunken ship. There's again a ton of foliage on the ground, underwater. Players swimming around. Fishes everywhere. I'm gonna kind of lower this down. It's kind of loud. I don't know. It's always one of those things when reacting to this. Like I have no idea if the music is gonna, affect the video. So I'm sorry. I'm just gonna, have the music all the way down. But yes, we're going through. We'll see the flashing a lot of stuff at us. Volumetric clouds again with the trees and the grass. The environment looks cool. You've got people walking around. You've got structures being built. People cutting down trees. You have these different kinds of characters. Like there's just a rabbit running out of there. This bird. This player's flying what it looks like a hummingbird. Combat. The one thing about this trailer, I really wish that they would spend more time on that stuff. Like they just showed combat, but it's just like a flash of it. Yeah, where was it? Yeah, it's just like not even a second just of combat, but we get so much footage of this. I really would want to see more of that. Again, players flying around on a creature over the water. The volumetric clouds. There's a structure on top of that mountain. This is kind of interesting too because there's a little bit of pop in there with the rocks. There's this structure over here. It's just like a kind of floating island. Again, I don't know what the story of this game is, but I hope that this is has a little bit more of a story to it. That the player can kind of maybe unravel some kind of mystery of this world. You know, one of the things that I love about Star Citizen is all of the world building. And it's one thing that I feel like the game doesn't really get enough credit for. Uh, Star Citizen universe has a lot of really rich lore to it, and it really sets itself apart from other space games in my opinion. Anyway, this is just my opinion. Um, because the lore is so versatile. Star Citizen's story is so versatile. You can tell a lot of other stories in Star Citizen's world. But again, in the context of everything that's going on, you have major characters and major factions, major alien races like the Van Duel and the Banu, but there's still a lot of room for players to tell their own story. So I think that's a really interesting, really powerful way to make a sandbox game, or a kind of sand park, as some people might call it. And I'm really interested to see if they go in that kind of direction here. Build a lot of lore for the game that players can really sink their teeth into, but at the same time, give players the opportunity to kind of do whatever they want. You got rain here, you've got fire, you've got this. I don't know if that's a player character, or maybe it's some kind of world boss, or maybe it's one of the mysteries of this world they're trying to uncover. I don't know. Again, we see a lot of players here running around on mounts. And then this seems pretty interesting too. It's like the players are some kind of heroes. entering some kind of castle. You see these rabbits kind of bowing down to them. Looks like these creatures are showing respect. I think these might be NPCs and these are players. And maybe this is the leader, the king, this person up here in the corner kind of sitting down on this chair. This again, this looks like this is a fantasy game, but this looks, kind of like this kind of gives me Alice in Wonderland vibes, with the rabbits and the kind of feeling, the theme of this game kind of gives me Alice in Wonderland vibes. That's not a bad thing. I think that's kind of like a good concept, kind of like a cool concept. Again, you're flying around, uh, you know, dense forest again, and then this part, rocks breaking up, and they zoom out. There's this hand and this orb, light no fire. Okay, so that again, this game is causing a lot of buzz in the gaming community right now. A lot of people are excited about it. No Man's Sky originally released, and it was a big disappointment for a lot of people because uh, a lot of promises were made, and the game that actually came out didn't deliver on all of those things. But in the years since, Hello Games, even though they had a very small team, did a ton of work to make No Man's Sky into the game it is today. And all of those updates were free. And so, that's really kind of just like a testament to the dedication that they have for that game. So, in my opinion, even if this game releases and it's not what some hope for, I kind of feel like Hello Games will stick with the game that they'll put in the work to make it good. So, it's one of those things that, yes, there are sometimes those situations like we've seen recently with the day before or something like that, where a developer makes a lot of promises and then the game comes out and it doesn't deliver on those things. But I feel like when you look at the developer's track record, it kind of gives you some kind of clue of what to expect. And with the developers Fantastic, they really had a track record of abandoning every game that they made. So it's really no surprise that they abandoned the day before as well. If you guys don't know about that story, the day before was a highly anticipated game. I'm sure everybody knows about it by now. And Fantastic is closing their studio, less than a week after the game releases. Now, um, No Man's Sky and Hello Games is a very different story because No Man's Sky came out, it wasn't that great, but ever since Hello Games has put in an extraordinary amount of work to make the game go beyond even what they initially promised. So I think that no matter what state this game lands in, Hello Games will put in the work to continually make it better over the years. So from that standpoint, I think it is very exciting that a game like this is coming out. Now, what what about the technology on display here? An entire Earth-sized map for players to play on. Now, that's huge, and it's one of those things where I'm kind of surprised more games haven't done that already. Larger maps kind of makes sense depending on what kind of game you're trying to make. Um, I kind of feel like that for a fantasy game, if you're building out a fantasy world, again, it's one of those things where I kind of feel like, uh, you know, with Hello Games, over time they release DLC that kind of unlock different things. So perhaps Light No Fire is kind of the same thing, and they kind of plan on having that same kind of roadmap where, more parts of the world, like cave systems and whatnot, might get unlocked with different DLC, things that they make in the future. So from that standpoint, I think it is potentially very interesting. Now, again, when it comes to story, I feel like This game needs to be more of like a sandbox style game. um I don't really know what you're going to be doing in this world. It is multiplayer. It looks like it will have building. It looks like it will have flying mounts and creatures that you can ride. You can swim. Um, there looks to be combat. They showed combat in this video, even though it was just like a second or two of combat. Um, it looks like there are also NPCs as well. Again, I'm really interested in the story. I definitely want to see more trailers about this game. This game is definitely on my radar. I've never been a huge fan of No Man's Sky's art style, but I feel like it works a little bit better in a fantasy setting. Again, like I said earlier, I get kind of like an Alice in Wonderland vibe from the visuals of this game. And that I feel like I like a little bit more than kind of the cartoony art style of No Man's Sky, because in a sci-fi game, I kind of like it to be more high tech and more visually engaging. But in a fantasy game, I kind of expect it to be colorful and cartoony because again, it's a fantasy game. So from that standpoint, I think the visuals match the genre a lot more for Light No Fire than No Man's Sky. Again, in No Man's Sky, the cartoony visuals kind of throws me off of the sci-fi theme, but with a fantasy theme, I feel like it works a lot more. That's just my opinion. But I think this is a very interesting looking game coming from Hello Games. I know a lot of people are excited about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Okay, are you guys excited for this game? Are you guys looking at any other games? I know, I play Star Citizen primarily, but I do play other games from time to time, and that's why I like making this video series, to see what other games I might be interested in playing. Yeah, and it's true, Star Citizen players, we play other games from time to time. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys think about this game. Hello Games is again a pillar of the sci-fi gaming community. No Man's Sky is one of the big three space games, and so I know a lot of people are very excited for this game, and I just want to know more. Honestly, that's kind of where I am at this point. It looks like an interesting trailer, but in the current video gaming climate, people promise a lot of things. Trailers always look flashy. I mean, that's kind of the point. The point of a trailer is to look flashy and draw people in. Where's the substance? So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it. That's the end of this video. Like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Salud.